Okay, girls, I made my neckline with the interface sheet, Bakram, and I cut my neck shape, and my neck shape was out like this. And then I pasted it to the cloth fabric as it is. And I drawed my outline as well onto the fabric. And I will cut away this part. And you cut onto the outline that you have taken. And now my neck is finished. I have to attach this to the front body space. Okay. Before I attach to the front body space, I drew the outline, right? Now under my sewing machine, I go and use the basting stitch and cover this extra fabric that I used onto the buckram line and stitch it all the way. I will show you how I did. Use your basting stitch. So if you see, I closed the extra seam allowance that I took, extra boundary line that I took. I closed onto the buckram sheet and I basted it. My brown stitch is the basting stitch. So now I have to attach this to my front body piece. Let us see how to do that. Now I take my front body piece. To say this is my front body piece, you know, I have my drafting lines for the outer side and for the inner side. I have to still cut this. So I think I already cut my inner side. Okay, never mind. So looking at that, you decide that it is your front. If you cannot, looking at that, cannot decide if it is a front or back, before you separate the front and back, write it down as F and B. So you know F and B. F is front and B is back. So now what I do, I again make this into half, my neck design into half, and then I make a crease line just to place it into my mid of my dress. That's the reason I'm making this crease line. And I give a snip to this, a tiny snip. And now right side of my front body piece and this one. If it is plain, it doesn't matter, but you have to place it like this. The raw edges of your neckline should facing you. And then what you do, you pin it up. And to explain you in a much better, easy way, what I'll do now is I will stitch this middle line till here and come back. So I did my basting stitch. Even now, if I take out my pins, that's not going anywhere. See, now it's all fixed to the bottom part and this part. So now what we have to do is we have to use a permanent stitch where I'll show you. So this blue line is the stitch where you have to do right now. Where is this blue line falling? Okay. The blue line, if you see closer, my interface lining is here, right? So adjacent to the edge of the interface, I'm drawing this line. Adjacent to the inner interface border, I'm drawing this line. And I stitch my permanent stitch just on that line. Even you can draw your lines and start doing it. Okay. Now I will put my stitch over here and come back. మీరు చూస్తే నేను ఇప్పుడు కుట్టేశాను, ఎందుకంటే ఇక్కడ చూసారా ఈ ఎడ్జ్ లో ఫ్రంట్ బాడీస్ పీస్ అండ్ నెక్ అలైన్మెంట్ అయిపోయింది కాబట్టి ఐఎమ్ డన్ స్టిచ్చింగ్ టిల్ హియర్. ఓకే, ఇప్పుడు నేను ఏం చేస్తాను అంటే 1/4 ఇంచ్ వదిలేసి నేను కట్ చేసేసుకుంటాను. లైక్ ఫర్ ఎగ్జాంపుల్ దీన్ని కూడా మీరు లైన్స్ డ్రా చేసుకోవచ్చు. సో 1/4 ఇంచ్లో డాట్స్ పెట్టుకుంటూ వచ్చి కట్ చేసేస్తాను. ఈ 1/4 ఇంచ్ మార్కింగ్ దగ్గర కట్ చేసుకుంటూ వచ్చేస్తాను. ఇన్నర్ సైడ్ ఇది కట్ చేసేసాక నేను ఇప్పుడు ఏం చేస్తాను, స్నిప్స్ పెట్టుకోవాలి. ఇక్కడ స్నిప్స్ పెట్టుకోవాలి. థ్రెడ్ దాకా వెళ్ళకూడదు మీ స్నిప్, జాగ్రత్తగా స్నిప్స్ పెట్టుకోవాలి. స్నిప్స్ ఆఫ్టర్ యూ స్నిప్, టేక్ your iron and iron it towards the inside so that you have the crease to turn it inside outside. I mean outside inside. So my front bodice piece neckline is done. Now I have to do my back bodice piece. Okay, let us see how to do that one. So as I told you in the class, the back piece bodies doesn't need to be on a interface sheet, or it doesn't need to be on a bypass strip. You can choose any of it. You can do any of it. The front, it doesn't mean like if you do the front with the interface, you have to finish your back also with interface. Nothing like that. You can do, like for example, the choice is only for the back only. You cannot do like the back interface and the front with bias tip. No, you cannot do that. But you can do the interface on the front side of your neck and do either back, yeah, for back, you can do either the interface one or with a bias strip. Anything is your choice. So here I'm doing my bias strip, okay? So my neck width is 3 inches, but my back neck deep will be very low, not this deep, but it will be like 2 inches. I have to do it here. 2 inches. And 2 inches straight line. So I'm doing with my bias strip, okay? Now I will take a this is my U. I cut this away. Now I see how much of a bias strip I'll be needing. So I'll be needing 10 inches of the bias strip. I make my ready of my bias strip. I take my bias strip and do it ready. Okay, I'm done attaching my bias strip, okay? Now what we'll do, we have to take our front part. We have to take a front part and put this one wrong side facing you. Ante right side facing onto your table and wrong side facing to you. Okay, so now how to lay it down, okay? If you want, like joining these shoulders, this is my right side. So this is the wrong side, table facing is wrong side and my facing is right side. That means the body's piece, front and back are facing right sides together. Right sides together, like right side and right side. The wrong side is facing you on the top and wrong side is facing on the table. It has to be like this. So this folded edge, this front neck folded edge should sit on the back side of the bias folded edge like that. And you have to pin it up. And these corners should be straight. These corners also should be meeting. See, these both sides have been equal. So I will pin it, and the top of the shoulder also should be equal. It shouldn't be up and down. Got it? And then open this end and open these inside ends as well too. All the tabs has to open towards this side and pin it up. And even the same thing with this one too. This folded edge should be enclosed to this stitch line. And then even that up. And however it will come for you, you have to align it. You have to align it and then open this and pin it up. Now what you have to do, you have to joint your shoulder line. I will do it and come. So after joining your shoulders, turn it inside outside. Once you turn it inside outside, you will see your neckline like this. You will see your neckline like this. Now what you do is you fold it like this. This will be your finished neckline. And I have to still stitch this finishing. So I will stitch this finishing and come and show it to you. Should be looking like this. I think once I can stitch it and come show it, I'll you can see the better picture. Just a second. So this is my neck finishing. So I have to do hemming or I'll stitch another edge stitch to make in this flat. So this is how you finish your neck. That is front side and this is your back side. Back side it looks like this. Front side it looks like this. So after this you have to attach your sleeves. We'll talk about how to attach our sleeves, okay? You open your neck, like throw your back towards the outer side and keep your front towards your side. And now you will have these openings, right? Now you'll have these openings. Here is where you have to attach your sleeves. This one, I stitch it to this one. I sewed it to that one. Okay. So my front piece comes to front and one sleeve goes here. Are you able to see? Okay. So what I'm saying, open up like this, back piece and front piece, open your sleeve, front and back. So now what you have to do, this front should come here and this one should, which side is the right side? Here I'm not able to see which side is the right side. This is front. This is front. This is front. This has to. Wait, let me see. Okay. So the front side should be to the front and you have to lay it here. Before you stitch, you have to lay it how your good sides look like. So this is my good side of the fabric and this is my good side of the fabric. Now to stitch, what I do, I overlay this one onto the sleeve curve like this. and then start pinning, because I have to sew this edge, right? So that's why I'm overlaying it like this. After we stitch, what will happen? The sleeve will drop like this, and the right side and right side will be towards the outer side. That is the plan how to stitch your sleeve. So now let me pin it up. I'll start from here and I will pin it up and I'll show you. So after you pin from this edge to all over the place to this edge, you start stitching from this side and go and end it here. Make sure your sleeve is on the top facing you, and the two body pieces, back body piece and the front body piece, is under the needle and the footer like this. Like for example, that's the plate of the machine, and it has to be like this. And you start sewing your 1/2 inch or a 1/4 inch wide over here and join these two pieces. I will do it and I'll show it to you. So I sewed up my sleeves and the body piece. See, if you see how much wide did I stitch? I took 1/4 inch. See, exactly it is 1/4 inch of my inner line is showing up. So this is how. But when I stitch, this is the full sleeve edge is this side. The back edge is here equal, and my front edge is here also equal. So it has to accommodate like this. And we are done stitching. And now what we do? We close one side. So this is our sleeve finishing. This is our sleeve finishing. Now to finish this, what you have to do? Gather these two edges. Like I'm not doing my folding over here because this is manufactured edge. So there's no flaring coming out. So that's why I'm leaving like this instead of folding like this. If you have any of like those kind of dresses, you can leave it, or you have to finish this edge like we did it for the baby bottom. You have to finish up like this. So now what I do, I fold these two, and you should remember like what is this marking for me? My sleeve marking is, where did I write it? How much I took this one? I think it's 7.5. Yes. This part is 7.5. So I make a marking from here to 7.5. And you guys know where is this marking, right? Over here. So when you align these two, that's why these notches will come in handy right now. See, do you remember we put notches near the waist and hip? Waist and hip, we have to align these two notches together. Then we will know what it is. But I think I did it wrong. It's okay, never mind. Actually, you have to finish both the sleeves and then do this one. I'm just showing you how to stitch it. How to align your front and back body spaces with your notches. So you pin here so that it doesn't move out of space. And that is your waistline, and this is your hip line. And down bottom, right? Now you know your stitch has to fall here because I made a tracing marks over here. Your stitch line has to fall here. And from here it is 1 inch, right? So what you do right now is, this is your sleeve, right? Until here, make sure these sleeve creases are overlapping on one crease, the other crease. Got it? You have to make sure that the crease is overlapping on each of it. And then pin it here too. So when you come to that point, you can remove this. Now you know this is the place where this line has to connect. Take your scale and then join that cross. And join this cross from here to here. And now I will sew this and I'll show you, okay? Okay, so now I finished this sleeve joining. Usually you have to attach this sleeve and attach this sleeve and then start joining. To show you, I've just finished this one, this single one. So after you're done stitching your sleeve to the body piece, it looks like this. And that's still your slit. And you guys know how to finish your slits and these bottoms. So it's the same thing as you did for the babies. And then I will finish this side, and for next class, I'll wear this dress. Okay, girls, bye.